Good afternoon, my friend. And good afternoon to all the reminisces and reminephews out there. Glad to have you back.
Yes. This is due to the stockpiling nature of our recordings pre-Tom's cross-country move. This is the first episode where we've been able to record since the flood, the joyous flood, and obscure flood of suggestions for nicknames for the listener base, which I guess not all podcasts have to do, but there's been a running joke on the show where my wife said Reminasties and you all just hated it.
I love it.
And then we tweeted about it. I know Tom holds it dear. It is an interesting thing that spurred a lot of you to chime in, and I think we'll be sprinkling them in and see what feels right. You seem to really love reminisces and reminephews.
Yeah, I love it.
It's really good.
Not as much as Reminasties, but it's hilarious. Makes me think of Snoop Dogg.
There you go.
I'm just like Snoop Dogg.
Hey, not the first time we've thought that. That's for sure. Quick shout out to KP.
PK?
PK. I think it's KP. I think we decided flows better, has more of a punch to it.
Yeah, recent upgrade from emo kid tier to emo veteran tier on Patreon, and it's crazy to see the kids grow up so quickly. I'm just super grateful. So thanks, PK. Glad to have you around, and to all our Patreon supporters. You make this show possible, fun, all that stuff. But today we're doing a music video that, from a song neither of us really listened to, kind of starting to wonder why right now we're doing this, but we have Check Yes Juliet by We the Kings.
Tom, you say that all the time. I really like this song. Every once in a while, once in a blue moon, Tom will agree fully to do something until we start. And it's like, yeah, well, we're recording now. I think this is a Neon Era hit that I think we can squeeze some mileage out of, because the music video is a little wild. But We the Kings, Check Yes Juliet. And then is it a parentheses song? Is it Run Baby Run after that? Or
I think it is.
Okay, so we got some interesting things to discuss once we start the show, which I guess we could just do whenever we want.
Whenever we want, but might as well be now. What is going on, everybody? I'm Tom.
And I'm Pat.
We're best friends, and you're listening to the Reminiscent Podcast. Okay, so did you listen to the song like back when it was new? What was it, 2007? 8?
I think past crushes had been a fan, and also I was a fan of the song. I mean, it was okay, let's just play the game now. When we talk about the Neon Era emo bands, Boys Like Girls, I think when we talked about The Great Escape and everything like that, are they a Neon Era joke band, or are they just a band that happened to have an overly catchy chorus at a time when Cobra Starship and Breathe Carolina, and I always use those two bands as my examples when really I'm not that familiar with their anything other than that Snakes on a Plane music video that I hope to talk about on the show one day. Anyway, the game basically, are they just a band, or are they real weird Windows up, not blare them at all neon embarrassment? Not embarrassment, but did they get caught up in a wave, a late emo neon wave, and lumped in with a lot of other things when really they were just a bunch of dudes playing regular guitar bandy stuff, and they got kind of lumped in?
My perception of them is, well, first of all, I just totally missed them when they were around. I mean, I guess they're still making music. They put out a song with State Champs and Simple Plan last year.
Oh, whoa.
Right.
Interesting collab. Here's a better way to phrase that. Are they more Metro Station, or are they more Mayday Parade? If there was a line drawn between those two bands, are they closer to one or the other?
I think they're probably closer to just a real band that was just playing catchy neon songs. I don't think they were... I think they were legitimate, but also I don't really know them. I never listened to it. I just missed it totally, completely.
Gotcha. I remember getting radio play and getting, in my eyes, kind of a fun kind of summer anthem song, which I guess if we just dove into the music video, that wouldn't be the worst thing. Although I know you have a few video directed by Factoids and things like that. But yeah, I don't know. It's almost like we talk about The Great Escape, and I don't know if that or the Starting Line's Best of Me was next up on YouTube for you, but those seem to be what the algorithm tended to be suggesting.
Right.
You got the same stuff, but definitely this catchy summer song, almost a victim of its own catchiness in a strange way, perhaps. I guess we can get into some of the lyrical phrasing later and whether or not it's cool or kind of lame or borderline or kind of this or that. I feel like we're flaming them too hard for how good of a song it is. I don't want to be this negative this early.
So just quickly, I kind of want to give this band a place in my head just because, like, again, I missed it, but I feel like it always comes up from people that I would least expect them to know and like this song. Like my wife, for example, just like knows this song. A while ago, she was like, "Are you going to do that music video? I really like the song." I'm like, what? I've never heard you even speak this band's name. Didn't know you were cognizant of the Neon era or anything like that. I feel like I've only heard conversation around this band coming from people that I would least expect listen to this kind of thing, which maybe gives some, I don't know, some insight on how big the song and how big the band actually was, where you didn't have to be like explicitly in the scene. Like I feel like maybe for the Sickest Kids, you had to be more in the scene to like really find out about them, but We the Kings got out somehow. I'm not sure. Let me check. Let me look at the ratings on here to see how well it did. Because again, I have no basis of understanding of where this band actually lived at the time.
Well, I feel like when we talked about The Great Escape, Boys Like Girls, there was definitely more Boys Like Girls t-shirts that just kind of exploded into our high school, people wearing everything like that. So I feel like there was almost like a popularity of the neon shirts and everything. But I kind of remember this just being a hit that was kind of shoehorned into whatever that like early summer craze of late high school for us, kind of, you know what I mean? Just kind of like, hey, here's 5 new songs that sounded exactly like that band that was popular a month ago. Like, were you aware of Shake It by Metro Station like at the time or since?
I think only because of kind of, again, like a girl I dated in high school who I was very surprised even listened to that kind of stuff. I think that might be the first time I ever heard any whisperings of We the Kings. Yeah, I knew that the song existed, but yeah, wasn't really into it. Never actually listened to
crabcore
them.
phase.
Right. This was around the time when Attack Attack entered the scene for the first time. I don't know if you've heard they're coming back.
Where we parted ways, man.
I know for sure.
Just kidding. I actually didn't. I don't know if I had any actual like neon albums that I owned. Maybe. Again, we talked about the All Time Low episode where we had Put Up or Shut Up, but we did not have So Wrong It's Right. So it's almost like where we just focused on college and just weren't buying music or downloading music at the time or something. But we kind of whiffed a bit, but it was almost unavoidable from a hit perspective on the radio and just being around people our own age, I guess.
Yeah, so I see that it did certify platinum in 2017 and peak positions, US Billboard Pop Songs, number 25, US Billboard Hot 100 70. So it was out there. It was making the rounds. I missed it. So maybe I shouldn't be so surprised when people I wouldn't expect to know this band just bring it up.
I mean, we've done so many legends recently, Avril and Simple Plan, where we were like, put some freaking respect on the name. And that was like, obviously, stating the obvious. Right, oh, throw a little bit of respect on the name here. Put a little respect on Travis Clark's name. Just a little bit, a little dose, a little dash of real hit, real song, very fun. Is it almost like you want to punish it because you enjoy it? Or like it's like you're happy while you listen to it. So it's like, I don't know, is it real? Is it real music? It's like, yeah, no, I think it counts. I don't know. Did you have any other fast facts? Because the video is a little insane. Not really, right. But I'm not going to, I've been overusing the word chaotic criminally lately, so I'm not going to say that. But the dad of the girl love interest is just around wearing pink polos, doing his thing. It's pretty strange what they choose to portray and the timeline in which they do it. Anyway, did you have any more fast facts? I think is the question we should establish first.
The only real thing that I have is I saw that the video was directed by Alan Ferguson, and I'm starting to like remember video directors' names now. It's like, man, that's familiar. We just talked about A Little Less 16 Candles, A Little More Touch Me. also directed by Alan Ferguson, and The Great Escape by Boys Like Girls was also directed by Mr. Ferguson.
You know, interesting. It has the same amount of, it's almost like, even if this is his like edgier production or something, like it's still miraculously tame, but in a fun way, I guess. I don't really know. Like coming off Helena, it almost just feels like a different universe of humanity or something. Like there's been like a bunch of people, like a tribe of people were just raised in a different planetary system and told to make music with the same stuff or something. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this is supposed to be in the same subgenre. Interesting. This guy made two totally very basically well-behaved teens going to a show. I don't know. This one has a little more edge to it, I suppose.
Well, it's more interesting and it's not so linear, which I didn't realize until I was reading your notes. We'll get to that. But
yeah. Alan Fergus' son, a.k.a. Christopher Nolan.
Oh,
there might be something there. The last two letters of the name are the same.
So you made a note of what music video was suggested next after you watched this one, and I think that's kind of a fun...
the only reason I wanted to do that is because I've been interested lately to who gets what.
Right.
Because we were doing some research for the show, and I was looking at some songs by The Bravery, and we were looking at some songs by Alexisonfire, and YouTube is like, these must be different people watching this, because the ads and the suggestions, everything was like, they like wildly different portions of the population would be choosing those songs, it seemed like, based on what I was looking at. But you can kind of guess, right, what the suggestions are going to be here. So I'm curious what you ran into.
So I got The Great Escape was the next up in the queue.
Yeah, to me, that's the logical one. I had Starting Line, Best of Me. And we'll get into like person at window,
right?
Person, teens leaving place, I guess. I don't know. We'll get into it. But there's only, like you said, a lot of these videos, people are going to a show of some kind in some capacity.
Right.
Avril Lavigne's a little more exciting with like the gorilla mid-traffic beat the shit out of a car, impromptu show. This one's a real house party basement show kind of feel, and we'll get into it a little bit. But those two don't surprise me. The Starting Line is kind of what one of the two I would have guessed. Although to Alan Ferguson's credit, A Little Less 16 Candles, after seeing the other two, I would not have guessed that. I'm just saying props to Alan.
I know.
He really popped off on that one. Good for you, Alan. That was a fun one for sure.
Possibly bigger budgets, but yeah.
Possibly. Depends, but maybe. Yeah, like they were just throwing money at Fall Out Boy by that point. It's like, what track is it? 8, 9? I don't give a Put the whole label on it. I don't care. Alan Ferguson, I don't care.
How long? 17 minutes? Sure, go for it.
Yeah. Alex Ferguson, Alan, I don't care. Just do it.
Alan. All right. So
are we doing the Pete Wentz vampire thing? Dope. Right, yeah, I don't care. Throw money at it.
You call yourself honors.
I've watched him, studied him. We're not gonna do that all over again. Okay. Okay. To your point about not knowing a ton about this band at first, Travis Clark, I didn't even know his glorious red mane until kind of years after hearing the song on the radio for the first time. Dude's got the orange flow, got the red flow going.
Is that a name that's been like in your household for a while now, or did you just learn that in a Google search today?
Travis Clark?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't know his name.
Okay.
If you want to tell the audience we didn't know. I appreciate you calling me on it, trying to sound profesh. But we had already admitted that we're wildly underprepared, so I was trying to at least give some legitimacy to it.
No, what's funny is I remember the hair.
Well, I didn't know Bryce's name before we did the Rocket Summer. I mean, I don't know these people's names off the top. Yeah, I mean, we've learned them as we've gone along with the show.
I'm not someone that knows band members' names either, or like what they look like or anything. So definitely not my strong suit, but his hair. Oh, okay. So I was in a band called The Good Fight, and my buddy Tyler played bass, and his hair was just like this. It was like so much hair. It was so thick. It was so red, and it had like the bangs coming over from just above the right ear, and it was always like in his face and perfectly disheveled, and I was always so jealous of it. And this guy's got like this same, I don't know what it is, man, about like, if you've got red hair, it's got to be like that. You got to be in a pop punk band. We had Aaron Gillespie. I mean, that's not quite pop punk, but maybe the
I was going to
almost
ask,
is.
are there any other notable? I mean, that thing is a glorious flow.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was just going to ask how many of our red-haired brethren have been frontmen, let alone in bands that have hit. Yeah, I guess Gillespie comes to mind for sure.
And it's like, not to spend too much time on the hair, but it's not like scene
It's great hair.
but it's very
I think
long.
we can spend as much time as we want on it.
Right. Lots of hair. It's working. Looking good. He's still got the hair too. I think he puts it back in a man bun now, or at least he did in that music video that I watched earlier today, but still got the hair. Super jealous as mine is quickly fleeing the top of my head as fast as it can. But let's do the music video. How's this thing start?
Well, for one, we could write him a letter and say, "Hey, can we have some?" And we just glue it to your head.
We want to give it away
took a weird turn
Patreon.
there. Yeah, it took a weird turn. Okay, let's just start here. Have you ever thrown rocks at a girl's window, at a love interest window, anything like that at all? Have you snuck up on a house, try to get their attention in any movie sort of way? Let's even include the starting line stuff. You ever played music loudly at someone's window? And anything like that at all on your resume?
So, I've been racking my brain all day, and I really don't think that I have. And I believe at least a portion of that was because when I was like dating after that longer relationship, I was 17 and we all had cell phones. I would just text you, yo, I'm outside, right? No need to throw a rock. So I don't know.
That's a very good point. Why risk what happens soon after in the video where he picks up just a straight up golf ball sized rock and hurls that thing? Dude's got a glass arm and a great set of hair. Could have been a very famous starting pitcher in the major leagues, I'm sure, just off of branding the red hair thing, strong arm. I'm just saying, could have been had a future there. Seems like a large man. Anyway, breaks the out of the window. Almost like I don't know what they thought was going to happen. But yeah, I think I walked up to a girl's house once. Walked like from Lake Cliff into Lawrence Park, probably a good mile and a half.
In the rain,
was
right?
Like, oh, I don't know about that. But then I don't think I did it. I think I was like, why did I assume there would be rocks at my feet when I wanted to do this? It was just somebody's lawn. So I think I just walked home like that was fucking stupid. Like as if the person would have just come down anyway. Like maybe it would have been a strict parent situation as well. But yeah, I got there. I was like, cool. Now I find a rock because they're just here now. According to movies and TV, this is what happens next. I'm just standing in someone's lawn like, lots of grass, not a ton of rocks. This was a fucking bad idea, I'm realizing. Okay, gonna go home. You get all pumped up on the walk, like in your feels, thinking like, yeah. Even had not like snuck out, like it was a summer evening or whatever, so it wasn't like too scandalous, but it's just like, I'll go home. So I just went home. And, yeah,
so
I don't know.
sad.
I don't know if it was sad. I mean, I don't feel like it was that's the thing also. I think I was there looking for the rock. I'm like, this isn't even that epic of a thing. Like, there's no basement show I'm going to drag this person to. I wasn't doing shit anyway. You know what I mean? I wasn't doing anything. I'm like, hey, let me rescue you from this boredom to absorb my own. You know what I mean? Like, there's no great escape. There's no run, baby, run. I'm not going to be like, hey, lace up your shoes. Actually, I don't have a plan B. Like, well, so you broke the window and we're not going anywhere. It's like, that's true. We could leave. We should go away from the broken window, flee the scene. Yeah. So I'm glad I didn't, I guess. But you're right. Technology was just like, there was only a small window where we would have had to even call someone's house and risk a dad picking up the phone.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Texting made it like, it was almost criminal, like, which we'll get to this into the video, but Travis, I mean, not to say he's disrespectful in the video, but he could be a little more tactful. He's throwing rocks. He's hanging out in the living room well into the range of time when the dad could have gotten home from work and everything like that. I'm just saying, like, in the age of technology and cell phones, just slip out the back, man. Go home. Get out of there. But yeah, I've never done it myself. It seems romantic, I guess. But really, it's got to be the right size pebble. And you got to hope the person's hanging out in their room.
I know.
Which I have to imagine is also a pretty rare thing. So not to poke too many holes. But this ended about as well as I would imagine a real attempt would, and that is essentially property damage. So I think, I've never done it either, but I'm at peace with it. I don't think like we missed out. Maybe that's more of a Gen X pod. I don't think. Yeah, you got the razor working. I know you had that razor texting under the desk without looking, using the bumps on the buttons and stuff like that.
T9,
even the ABC
baby.
method before. Oh, T9. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Let's just move on. Okay. No rocks at the window, and I'm at peace with it if you are. But I did want to sort through that because it seemed like an essential part of American culture based on TVs and movies. So I'm like, I guess not. I guess not at all.
Yeah, so he throws a huge rock through the window, and they burn out in their muscle car. I feel like
too nice of a car.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay, why do like men in...
And granted, I've only watched 3.5 seasons of Rust Valley Restorers. I wouldn't call myself a motorhead. But that car is pretty fucking nice for like a garage band teen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I feel like we see a lot of that exact same muscle car in all the Neon era music videos. Like every single one of them. It might just be the same car.
Interesting. Well, we'll have to ask our boy Alan Ferguson over here.
What if it was just Alan's car?
Is that your whip, bro? What's up? What's the move? What's the word? Where's the basement show, Alan? I want Alan to come to my house and take me to a show. Not even romantically, just can we be Alan's friend? I'm curious.
Okay.
So there's a little bit of, this is when it starts to get, the timeline is like, I don't know, because all of a sudden, Travis Clark
is
playing in the basement show.
Yeah.
They're at a different house just playing. I'm like, that was fast as shit. I know it's a nice car, but I don't think it was that nice car. Time travel. It's not the DeLorean. Okay. You got to stop laughing and supporting this nonsense. It's not good for our health. No. Okay. So we'll learn later that there was a method to this madness, but you're like, okay, that's kind of weird. Cause then the dad comes up and you did a little detective work yourself. If you were the dad in this situation, she tries to play it off and save Travis Clark's hide by saying a lamp fell or something. Can you walk us through the crime scene itself?
Yeah, so the dad walks up into the room, opens the door, gives a like what happened kind of look, and the girl just gives a coy little smile as she's holding a lamp by the window. And before we recorded, I mentioned, but the glass was inside the room, and you're like, oh, watching a lot of like CSI whatever. But actually, the thing that comes to mind is that episode of Arrested Development where the mom claims someone broke in the house, but the glass is on the outside. Whatever. So no, not CSI. Arrested Development is where most of my detective skills come from. But
I think that's all you need.
I think the dad fell for it. I think
most detectives would back that up. I think there's a little bit of willful ignorance going.
Okay.
A little. Because then he's like, I don't know what happened, but like, we'll see. But he's definitely like, the ears are perked, like kind of a red flag. Like, I don't really know what I'm looking for yet, so I'm not going to burn you on this one, but now I'm watching. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not really sure who the culprit would be. Although, that's not true, because we get the timeline sorted later, but let's move on and let's get a little further down the road here.
Well, yeah, so they're at this house.
Because at this point, he should have gone freaking ballistic. Not ballistic, but like, based on the character he's trying to portray, right? Like, you think he would shut that shit down. Let's come back to put a pin in that, because it's a pretty insane thing if you think about it chronologically, what happens next. I kind of just want to say it now. Should we do it chronologically or in the way the video goes?
Well, we should go in the way the video goes and we'll sort it out later.
Okay. Because if you pin this real quick and we'll repeat it. He sees that it's probably not a lamp, but then just goes back downstairs, right? He's like, what the hell broke my window? She's like, I don't know. He's like, okay. And then goes back downstairs, pin in it. Because it's kind of hilarious to think about where it actually goes from there chronologically. Okay. Let's talk about the show a little bit. House show, basement show, legit or not? Just quick hitter there.
So basement shows are the best kind ever. They're the most fun to play. They're the most fun to attend, I believe anyways. I will always go for a basement show or in someone's garage over a venue any day of the weach. But
did they stage one pretty well here? Or?
Okay, so at 23 seconds in the video, it looks like they just hired a bunch of like go-go dancers for the background. They're just like raging, but like super weirdly, like in a way that people wouldn't usually do it at a show. But the song's pretty high energy. It's not a bad energy they're giving off. It just seems so out of place. But you know, hiring extras to be in music videos is hard, especially because they're usually not playing their instruments. There's just like a version of the song playing over a boombox somewhere. So it's a little awkward. I've been a guy in a crowd at a music video shooting twice now. It's a little fucking weird. So I think they do as good of a job as you can. They're performing it well. The crowd's looking hyped. I'd be at that house show.
Technically more of a living room show upon my second and third watch, I gotta say. But I'm sure that happens. Jimmy Eat World the Middle is a similar house show, I think. So I'm not gonna knock it too much. Real quick note here, little, you know, when they're telling people to lace up their shoes and whatnot, a couple claps. I'm going to go yay instead of nay on claps at shows, unless it's overused. And it's like, how long are we supposed to be fucking clapping for? You know, I mean, why don't you just, if the song's good, it should support itself in theory, I guess. But I like, you know, it's a simple I don't know, people are split on like the wave at baseball games. There's like this new like thing to be like, no, the wave sucks. Stop doing the wave. It's annoying. It never catches on. Yeah, I'm telling you, there's like a hardcore baseball fans hate the wave now. It's like this recent campaign against it. Claps at shows, I could see if there was like a guerrilla movement to stop it, because there's always like a, you know, the build of the bridge where it's like, all right, guys, let's build it up. It's like, well, for how long?
And
before
they
I
always
get into it, before I commit,
way too fast. It's never to the actual tempo.
It's like, not to be too Larry David about it, but it's like, I'll clap, but not for forever, honestly. That was probably not a good example of a Curb Your Enthusiasm scene, but it's kind of, you're just kind of like, I don't fucking know. I mean, I'm into it. Anyway, I'm pro clapping, but unless it's overused and kind of like abused.
All right, well, they give you two quick ones. Lace up your shoes.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is just fun as just like, if there's a spot in the song where everyone knows to like, that thing before the song where it's like, okay, everybody, when we do this, I wanted you to all to go like, good, you son. It's like, I'm into it. I'll listen to every word you're saying. I'm not home right now. I'm a teen and I am here with you, my guy.
All right. Well, you said if there's a spot in the song, they do the clap, although it's not as highlighted. They do that double clap, I think like 4 or 5 times in this song. It gets a little excessive, but they don't draw as much attention to it all the other times. But they're definitely going for it.
Yeah. I think the live thing I'm thinking of is when they're just like,
right,
during a bridge at like a local show when they're like, all right, everybody put your hands in the fucking air. And then you're like, do we keep doing it into the chorus when you come back as well? It's just like, it's a full minute 40 of clapping. It's like, I didn't sign up for this. I'm already sweaty as hell. Okay. I should note that when they crashed the glass and sped off, it was when the first chorus, Run Baby Run, hit, which, you know, all right.
Nice.
Lego. Okay. Quick question. Chorus versus chorus, the showdown. Are you ready?
Oh, okay.
Run, Baby, Run, or We'll Make the Great Escape.
Great Escape.
Oh, dude.
Without hesitation. Yeah,
without
totally.
hesitation. Wow. Okay.
What about
I didn't even
you?
have time to like prepare a response to your response. I don't know. I'm just saying, put some respect on this song. That's all. It's fun as hell. And, you know, they're breaking some rules. They're breaking some glass. You know, I don't know. Great Escape is a great song, but the music video is too much spaghetti. I think we've already exhaustively discussed that on the show. I'm just saying it was enough spaghetti for me to be a little hesitant to back it forever. Anyway, I'm just saying this song is on the same level in the same discussion. I think that's what I'm trying to argue.
Okay.
If nothing else. You're correct, but I want to like make people think about it just for a second.
Okay.
Try what I'm trying to get at.
So, all right, we have a shot where there's the girl presumably coming back from a Catholic school because they need to differentiate. She's in a different time and location now. And the band is now in a third location, right? They're like practicing in a garage with the
new
car
scene,
out front.
New timeline, but where in the timeline? She and a friend are walking down the street, like you said, and they actually come in and they're playing in the actual garage, which brings me to like just back down to me and you talking about stuff, which if you listen to the show, that's the show. So I don't know why I'm explaining it. Okay. Thoughts? Have you ever been practicing in an actual garage with the door open and people that you wish came by? Because in this, they walk up and are like, they're flirting with their eyes. They're like, hey, we're just doing our band thing. It's like, whatever. You know, it's like meet cute type, you know, whatever. Has that ever happened to you ever where you've been doing your thing publicly in your neighborhood, which feels like something someone who is younger would do? Like no adult's going to be like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, has that ever happened to you? The person you would want to catch you doing something catches you doing something like practicing.
So it only happened once. I think it was my 12th birthday. No, this would have been 13th, 14th. We were in 8th grade. I don't know. It was a birthday party in 8th grade, and we brought our instruments out to the garage. I think we had already like jammed a few times, but we weren't actually a band. And this was after my mom left my stepdad, but he lived next door at his mom's house, and his daughter was having like a high school graduation party. So I was having like a 14th birthday party. Next door was a high school graduation party. They heard the music, and my like ex-step family minus the stepdad came over, and they just like stood in the driveway like, oh, there's music, but we weren't really playing anything. We were just kind of like all separately playing our instruments together. And it turned out to be really awkward because we had an audience when we weren't actually performing anything. And it was
I there? I do not recall this whatsoever. It's fair if I wasn't.
No, so that was the night that the girls came over and to fork our yard, and we attacked them with the water balloons. You came really late that day, so you weren't there.
Interesting.
Earlier on.
Okay.
I do remember
what's
that.
Interesting
you
is
came late.
I was also friends with the stepbrother who would have been next door because I had been to both houses. Weirdly,
right?
I had like spent the night at both houses. And on that random block in Wesleyville, I probably spent the night at a large majority of those houses.
Right.
But because they had a nice pool back there. It was like a nice little setup, right? Anyway, so that would have been severely awkward. I'm glad I would have remembered that weirdness. So I'm kind of glad I showed up late. Oh yeah, there was like some summer basketball stuff. I think I remember coming late. Yeah, you're right. Interesting. That sounds awful. Man, very strange. Really... But they weren't like asking you to be quiet or?
No, I mean, they were nice. I didn't have a problem with my step siblings or anything. So it wasn't awkward that it was them. It was awkward that people came over to listen to us play music, but like we didn't know anything together. So we weren't playing together, you know?
Gotcha.
So it was just kind of awkward, but whatever.
Best crowd you ever pulled, and you didn't even know the songs yet. There you go. We'll chalk that up as a good thing.
All right, friends, it's time for the Patreon shout-outs. I want to thank our Council of Elders, our Emo Elder tier on Patreon. We've got Andre Prevost, Johnny Leftwich, and Jason Carey. Thank you all so much for supporting the show, and thank you to everyone in our Patreon. Pat and I just recently got back from a weekend in a cabin in the woods with Zach. We're going to be uploading some videos, some music, some photos, video AMAs, all kinds of stuff going on in the Patreon. We recently did a mini video episode from the top of a mountain, which was a lot of fun. You can check it out at patreon.com/reminiscent. See which tier works best for you. Thank you all so much for supporting the show. We greatly appreciate it. But let's get back to the show.
Travis Clark is cut to him in the freaking house, right?
In the house? Oh, yeah. He's like on the couch.
They're like, hey, would you like to be looking at my band in this garage / hey, you guys want to come over? They come over and the dad comes home. It's Travis, the girl's friend, and another band member just hanging out. Lace up your shoes. Hey, oh, here's how we do. Lyrics are coming in. And we're really like noticing now that Travis's car is, there's drug money involved, you have to assume. I mean, no teen, that dude's moving weight or something because there's no venues paying out enough cash for that car to make sense. Anyway, so they get caught. The dad comes home. We're singing the song. We're seeing the timeline as it goes. We're trying to piece the puzzles together. He comes up on the next day of school or some other day that week, we guess, and the girl's walking. And he's like, hey, can I give you a ride? And, the car breaks down, even though it's really nice looking, weirdly. It reminded me of the I'm Just a Kid music video where a lot of under the hood stuff lately. Like, I guess there's only so many tropes that teens have to face. Like, oh no, the car we have can't go to point B or whatever. So they like wipe motor oil on each other's faces in a attempt to, cutesy whatever. I don't know about that one, Ferguson. But basically, they're rolling around in the grass, but they're not like in this field. They're just in the neighborhood. So they're just like in someone's yard, like rolling around. And then the dad comes driving by and sees them frolicking again, just the side of a suburban roadway, and stops the car, gets out, look of disapproval, brings her home. And then this is the Christopher Nolan moment. We realize she's grounded because of these incidents, and the window scene was the post-suburban road flirtation moment, right? So Travis Clark had come to the house at the beginning of the video to get her to come to the show after the dad had caught them numerous times in what I'm guessing is, a relationship he didn't approve of.
Yeah, so the video starts at the end kind of thing. And again, I just thought it was a little disconnected and all over the place. But I do kind of like that, yeah, the initial rock throw at the window, she was grounded, although she was grounded with her iPhone in her room, which I think was probably the original iPhone. And he still opted
probably
to
the first
throw the
iPhone video we've found. They've been pretty old tech. I don't know. We'll have to, not that we've there might be more or earlier ones, but it's like, okay, technology is passing us by. Let's go here, Tom. We've been waiting all show. Connect the dots. He breaks the window. The dad comes up. She's been grounded all night. He's like, what the is going on? And he knows it. Now we know that the dad has to know it's Travis freaking Clark at this point. And then he goes back downstairs after the lamp incident, the quote unquote lamp incident. And then the girl is like, maybe I will go to the show because her friend is at the show that Travis is playing. It's like, you really got to come. And she comes downstairs, and not moments after the lamp thing, she comes down and catches her dad and her mom just pretty hardcore making out on the couch, just in the living room, which it's like, hey, can you go yell at our daughter? Somebody broke a window. Yeah, sure. Hey, don't do that. Come down. It's like, hey, you want to make out hardcore? Sure. Yeah, that's definitely the mood everyone in the house was feeling. But she just comes down. I'm like, oh, piecing this puzzle together has been, to Ferguson's credit, quite the ride. Anyway, she goes back upstairs, and the parents, I guess, just keep making out because she just leaves through the window, right? Goes to the show. Right. The friend turns out to be kind of more the bad influence than Travis Clark, perhaps, question mark. Drink. Anyway, then the parents, I don't know if they continue making out or what, that's their business, but the dad's wearing a pink polo, shout out to the pink polo movement of the 2000s. They go to chase her down, knowing, I'm assuming she's going to the band, going to wherever Travis Clark is. Their parents probably just know, right? Pay the cell phone bill, whatever, maybe, I don't know. But anyway, they end up at the house. They're at the show we see at the beginning of the music video. Travis Clark, visibly happy she made it. Spots her in the crowd. Vibes are strong. Here comes dad.
Oh.
They get the out of there. And the mom catches him, lets it slide. Thoughts?
So I do like his smile when he sees her in the crowd. It seems like a very genuine, she came kind of smile.
Travis Clark is no slouch. He came here to make a very, very watchable, interesting music video. And they succeeded.
And he leaves before the song's over, leaves the stage. And yeah, the dad enters the venue. And the shot, I just can't stop thinking about it. There's this small blonde-haired boy in a blue shirt that just happens to be standing in front of the door. And the dad talks to him. And in my mind, it was just oh, that kid's the bouncer. Just because he happened to be closest to the door.
Yeah,
but he's so little. Anyway, it just made me laugh that he was
tough
the
to
one.
be at the back of a show with your arms crossed. You just end up bouncing into dads and shit.
So yeah, they leave through the back. The mom gets out of the car, sees them, and cracks the faintest smile and turns her head down a little bit.
Lets him run.
Okay, so there's a couple things happening here. Dad and mom, married for a while, seems still horny. Good for them. That's great.
Yeah.
So
sure,
they still got that fire going.
Thoughts on the timing? Can I just ask thoughts on the timing of hey, you're grounded. I don't know. You want to make out? I don't know. To me, it's just kind of can't speak to it. I've never been there myself. Yeah, I don't know. It just for the sake of the video, she comes down and just Mom, Dad. I don't know. It's just kind of it's such an odd choice artistically, but also it might have been the greatest choice in music video history. I don't know. I'm not here to decide, but it's possible because that was a bold choice.
I think it shows though that the mom understands the passion maybe, and it's kind of chip off the old block kind of vibes. Oh, that's my daughter running off with the boy. I'm imagining a world where this music video happened 17 years earlier and the parents were that role. The dad was in the band or vice versa, you know. I kind of think it was supposed to be like a generational handoff or something.
Yeah. No, I like it. And I feel like, you know, it's been portrayed in the art we've consumed as a generation that the mom is usually the one that's like, you know, kind of cool about it, like kind of understands.
Yeah.
Do you feel the trope of the overly angry, hairy four-armed pop figure is fading a bit? You know, is everyone generally more open-minded in pop culture in that way? Or is the like stuffy 10 Things I Hate About You dad still the norm? I don't really know the answer to that question, but I'm just thinking through like, I wonder if we'll just see less and less of like that, you know, the like the anti-horniness dad. Although maybe that'll always exist. I guess I'm not sure. I feel like people have been poking fun online of like the, I'll shoot my daughter's prom date, LOL.
Right.
Post to Facebook, get 1,000 likes. Like, oh, wait, what? We're just going to, what? Put your gun away. What the hell is this? Anyway, if you had any thoughts on the anti-horniness dad, I guess, not stereotype, but like weird music video character.
I mean, yeah, it made me think like, how long has that 70s show been off the air? Like, because that's totally like the Red Foreman thing, you know, just like always coming in, like ball busting.
Well, to that show's credit, Bob Pinciotti, pretty open-minded guy.
Right. And also very hairy.
He never even played that character. Yeah, very hairy. I actually met him at Pittsburgh's Comic-Con once when I was an intern. Nicest guy. Just a very Italian, reasonable, cheerful boy. And much love to that man. Don something. I forget his last name. But that is 100% not the point. Yeah, like even in that show, he was never even playing the hardcore asshole until Red challenged him to do so. So actually credit to the Pinciotti family overall. I suppose kind of a broken, I don't know. They all just were, I don't know. That show's incredible and I'm not going to get into it, but I think it's an appropriately rated show. Everyone seems to generally kind of like it, but not overrated too much. I think it's just a feel good cultural show. Let's stop talking about it. Eric left too soon or left at the right time. Should have ended a lot earlier. I don't know. The Myers brother getting involved late, forgettable. You know, it is what it is. Okay. A good rewatchable for sure. But let's get back to the point, which is what?
Mom's still horny.
That this bridge. No, sorry. Okay. That this bridge, and this is kind of the last point I wanted to make. Fantastic bridge. Usually these hit songs have them. You know, no two are alike, but sometimes it just fits. We're running through the night, you know, way up high, that type of thing. You know, it's just like, oh, what? All right, Travis Clark and company. All right. I'm vibing. Because sometimes in the hit song or in this subgenre or whatever, it's pretty obvious. You know, we joke about the Mark Hoppus, you know, tongue-in-cheek, overly simplified version of his production style where it's like find hook, smash into skull of listener. But it's got a nice flow. It's on theme with the song, flying, running away, lace up your shoes, etc. You know, way up high. Yeah. I think it is. I just thought it was worth noting. Very, very above average bridge. And you got to love a good bridge. It's not easy to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good song overall. I just don't have those like strong connections to it like I do for a lot that we do on the show. But I was really glad to see something done with the music video. Okay,
here's chalk one up to this. I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, and maybe we can Google the lyrics real quick to double check this, but ... I believe heading into the last chorus, they just do a quieter version of the chorus itself in Great Escape, making it an inferior song from a structure standpoint, I might argue.
Oh.
It's tougher to pull off an actual bridge, so I'm going to score one in the point column for not only having one or daring to have one, a real one, but it being one of the best parts of the song, which is hard to do and should be rewarded when applicable.
Okay. I mean, yeah, all great right. Song. Great video. I love that they did something different.
Back on the hype train.
Yeah.
Get back on the hype train, everybody. Damn. Lace up your shoes, why don't you?
Well, let's give, I guess I'll take us right back down for the song of the week, but want to give a song of the week and head to the post show?
Yeah, I can do that. Let me scroll a little bit. Actually, yes. Okay. I already did. Did I already do the swimming pool song by Laura Jane Grace? I think I did.
Yeah.
Give me Keep 'Em on They Toes by Brent Cobb. Little more of a country lean, or Western lean, depending on how you describe it. Just kidding. That's a weird dad joke my dad always loved. Is it country or is it Western? He thought that was hilarious, and I guess I did too, actually. Anyway, yeah, keep them on their toes. Brent Cobb, fun little song, easy morning listener. I like it.
All right. So Seaway put out a new album a couple days ago at the time of this recording. The last song, Sick Puppy, is a lot of fun. They write really good music, so I've been enjoying that album and pretty much every band on that record label, so all about it.
Nice.
Yeah.
On to the post-show. We're having fun.
Yeah. So show notes for this episode, reminiscentpodcast.com/episode/197. We're going to go over to the post show for our Patreon supporters, patreon.com/reminiscent. But we will see you all on Twitter at @reminiscentfm. Reminiscent.
Tweet at us if you are philosophically opposed to lacing up your shoes. All right, everybody. Love you. Thanks for being here, Tom. I'll talk to you soon. I love you. Bye.
Love you, teammate. See ya. All right, everybody, thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. You can find the show notes at reminiscentpodcast.com/episode/197. And please hit us up on Twitter at @reminiscentfm. Let us know what your perception of this song was back in the day, if it's changed first time you've heard it. Did the music video immediately make sense to you? Let you know. The best part of doing this show is hearing from you all on Twitter. So hit us up there. Thank you all so much. We'll talk to you next week. Bye, everyone.